Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another episode of the Steel City Commuters podcast. I am Austin Carnes, joined here alongside my good friend from New Kensington, downtown Nicholas Brown. And we are back in Point Park's beautiful media hub with yet again another very special guest making her debut. This is her first ever podcast that she is doing. We are bringing on Point Park's very own Provost, Shari Payne. Shari, how's it going?
Shari.
It's going well, guys. I'm so happy to be here with you.
First podcast. A little nervous? Butterflies are there?
A little nervous. First podcast, but you guys are doing great.
Thank you, Shari. Thank you for taking the time to come and do this as well. And
Absolutely.
Nick, it's good to see you too, my friend. How's it going over there?
It's good to see you. It's good to see Shari. It's good to be back in the Pittsburgh Media Hub. I feel like after a while, when we're on Zoom, it's like I really miss this atmosphere, this environment, because this really sets the stage for the podcast. And of course, we have a guest. I have to be on my A game, because if not, Austin will torment me.
Yeah,
I'm already gonna.
So keep that Cowboys nonsense out of here, please, today.
Oh, I can't. I can't do that.
It's cold outside, though. How about that? It's freezing.
Yeah, Shari, what's going on with this weather? It was like 50s, we're at 60s, we're at 7. For crying out loud, the Christmas tree's up already.
So, Nick, I had to know that you were going to ask me about the weather. Can I tell the story about how we first met?
Yes.
Okay.
Story time.
Story time, okay.
Yes.
So I took over the provost role in January, and literally within my very first week in the position, we had a pending snowstorm. Very first week.
Oh, I remember
I know
this.
where this is going.
My very first week. And so students hadn't come back yet, and we were able to close because the campus wasn't filled yet. And so we were able to close that day. But then about a week and a half later, we had another sort of, was it going to snow? Was it not going to snow? And I didn't cancel classes. And Nick, you're very interested in the weather.
Yes.
Right? Folks should know that Nick follows the weather very closely. And Nick wrote to me and wanted to talk about
Yes.
why I didn't cancel classes. And honestly, we had a wonderful talk. It was so nice. And then we discovered that we have mutual friends in common.
Yes.
We're both, I don't know if you know this, Austin, but we're both from the AK Valley. My husband's cousin is your mayor
Yes.
in New Kensington.
Wow.
So, yeah, the connections run very deep. And it's been a really great relationship since. But, yeah, so my first week on the job was sort of like a hard will we close or won't we close weather moment. So I'm not really fond of the weather.
Not fond of the weather?
Not fond of the Christmas tree already?
Not fond of the Christmas tree yet.
So the connection started because Nick Brown wanted an extra day off of school is what you're saying.
Yes. Yes.
did.
I'll admit it. Any day we can get off, I'll take it. I will take that extra day.
He did, but my least favorite, I love being the provost at Point Park University, but my least favorite part is really like having to watch the weather and getting up at 4 o'clock in the morning and trying to assess what the conditions on the ground are. That's not.
If you ever need anybody else on that committee, and if there's a role open, the schedule's wide open.
Well, I'm going to confess, Nick, that since we became Facebook friends, I have on occasion, when I had some doubts, consulted your page because you consistently post about the weather. So thank you. You have been a big help in that regard.
Look at you. You're Point Park University's #1 reliable source.
Absolutely.
That puts a lot of pressure on me as we head into the winter months trying to get the forecast correctly then.
No pressure, but I'm watching.
Oh, that's
God.
incredible. And
Yes.
we're going to definitely talk about your provost rule more as this episode goes on because I find it very interesting. It sounds like such a cool rule. And you are joining a long list we talked about before we went on air of how many amazing guests we've had in that chair. We've had, the Andrew Stockies of the world. We've had the Chris Brasalises of the world, the Dean Ankneys of the world. But recently, I just interviewed Greg Brown, the voice of the Pittsburgh Pirates, a fellow Pioneer as well. I want to ask you real quick, Nick, before we dive into this episode, what was your thoughts on that episode?
Greg was like, amazing that you asked him to be on. He goes, what took you so long? And he goes, it's about time I got on. The one part I loved about Greg is he didn't sugarcoat the Pirate season. It absolutely was a disgrace. It was a collapse. And he literally said it was terrible. It was bad. But the part that I did not know about Greg, one was about the Pirate Parrot and that intern and all that role went. But the way he not only played the games, but also called them at the same time. I thought that was very interesting because I think that would be very hard to say, like, Austin Carnes going up for the three. He shoots and he scores as you're on the court as well in that playing role. And so the way he balanced the playing role and the announcing role was fantastic. And how he set the stage for that goes to show you can juggle many different parts in this industry.
Sound like he was broadcasting as he was being interviewed. Too.
Yes.
He has the same exact voice.
Same exact voice. I thought I literally was watching Sportsnet, Pirates Talk, Pirates Pittsburgh. Like that same voice just is stuck in my head now. You got to do the Greg Brown voice. You got to do the Greg Brown. Greg Brown is here. Greg Brown is there. He's not going anywhere.
Greg Brown was great. But Shari, I'm excited that you're here today because I want to hear about your career now. So you're at Point Park University. You're now the provost.
Yeah.
Before we get to your current role, I want to go back to the beginning. What initially brought you to Point Park?
Wow. So when you asked me to be on the show, I started reflecting back on my career, and I'm 30 years in.
30 years.
30
Congratulations.
30 years. I graduated from my undergrad in 1995. So I'm in my 31st year of work.
Wow.
Yeah, I know.
That's awesome.
And when I was going to school, I was an English writing major, right? So no one goes to school to become an administrator in higher education. So I majored in English writing, and I did 2 internships while I was a student. One at Pittsburgh Magazine, which I loved, right? I loved creative nonfiction. In fact, I took a course in my undergraduate program in creative nonfiction with Lee Gutkin, who is the brother of a professor here at Point Park in the School of Education, Richard Gutkin. So
Wow.
I know, like the
You're like connected with everybody.
Yes, the relationships in Pittsburgh run deep. And then I wanted to try something different. So in my senior year, I actually interned at KDKA in the TV station. So I was a news intern. And this is sort of the funny thing about internships, right? You get great experience and you learn what you like, but sometimes you learn what you don't like. And I really thought, oh gosh, this news writing, this isn't for me. This isn't the direction that I want to go. So I graduated from the university and I started out, my first job was as a reporter. So I was a journalist, a newspaper writer for the Latrobe Bulletin. And my beat was Latrobe. I covered all things Latrobe, the city council meetings, the school board meetings. Kennemetal was in Latrobe. The first banana split was in Latrobe, right?
Yes.
Like all of the human interest stories that happen in Latrobe. And I got paid, you ready for this? $200 a week. $200 a week was my paycheck. That was my very first paycheck.
Wow.
At the Latrobe Bulletin. So if you add that up, it's like not a lot of money.
No, it's not.
No.
Yeah. So, but it was 1995, and y'all weren't born yet, but
Nope.
you'll know that was about the year that the internet really started to take hold. And this was a daily newspaper, and daily newspapers started really seeing declines in their circulation. So I came into work one day, and they said, we're laying 5 people off, like the 5 newest people in each of the various departments. And I was, of course, the reporter. So I got laid off 3 months after I graduated. And I thought, oh gosh, like I have student loans coming due, I have rent to pay, I have a car payment to make. What am I going to do? And so I went back to the campus where I graduated from, and I started working in the computer labs, because back then, like you had to print out a fancy resume, like on fancy paper, linen paper or parchment paper. And if you have any listeners that are Gen X or older, they'll know what I'm talking about. So I went back to campus so that I could print out my fancy resumes and go into either the Kinko's or the Copycat Center. And, you would get like a big stack of this paper on this fancy paper to send out.
Yeah.
And the office that I worked for as an undergrad was located right above. So this was on a main road in the office where I worked. My on-campus job was as a tour guide. I was a pathfinder. And I stopped in just to say hi. And they said, oh, are you looking for a job? Because we're hiring.
Right there.
Hiring. And this was, I don't know, 2 or 3 days after I got laid off from the newspaper. This was a Thursday, and by the following week, I was working there. That was my first job in higher education. So I was an admissions and financial aid counselor, and I recruited at high schools, and I did admissions presentations, and I love the work, but I sort of connected with the financial aid part of my job a little bit more. And I decided that I wanted to focus specifically on financial aid. So I found a job after a couple of years at another university that I was interested in applying for. And at the time, this is common in higher education. It was taking a while. Like I sent my resume in, I hadn't heard anything, and I told one of my coworkers, I don't think I'm going to even get an interview. I haven't heard anything. And my friend said, I know someone that works over there. Do you want me to make a phone call? And here's where your 6 degrees comes in.
Yep.
Yeah. And I said, yeah, would you please? And so the person that he made the phone call to was none other than Keith Palo.
Oh, wow.
Ooh.
Yes. So Keith and I go way back to 1997 at this other university. So we worked together for a time, and fate would bring us back together many years later. But so I worked in financial aid. I became a financial aid director. I moved over into the provost office. I did work in the provost office at this other university. So I spent 17 years at this other university. I got my doctoral degree in higher education management, and then I decided that I wanted to shift over. I took a job out of state for some time as vice president of enrollment management.
Wow.
Yeah. And then I came back. I mean, if you're from Western Pennsylvania, you know how hard it is to leave your family,
Yes.
right? Okay. So family brought us back. And then for 8 years, I worked as the vice president of enrollment management at another institution in Southwestern Pennsylvania. But the funny thing is, this is sort of what has happened over the course of my career, is that, you start off in one job, but if you're good at it, like they kind of give you more stuff to do.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right? Isn't that what happens? You're good at something and you get more work. And so the university was restructuring, and there was a vice president leaving, and the president asked, would I take on the dining in the facilities? Dining and facilities.
Okay.
Makes sense, right?
Yeah.
I
Yes.
had zero dining or
Zero.
facilities experience.
Doesn't sound like that was on the resume.
That's right.
Maybe it was in the fine print.
Right, but here's where I want to give you some advice, you guys, because you're so entrepreneurial and you're doing such good things. Is you just take it all all as it comes. Someone says to you, "Hey, can you try something new? Can you do it?" Right? Sure. Right? Yes. And that's how I've gotten here, is that I have these phenomenal opportunities to do something different. And during that time, I built a national restaurant. I mean, I didn't hammer and nail, but the proposal, the contracting, the project management of the restaurant all fell under my purview, and it was
Getting hungry now.
Yes, right?
yeah. Well, I won't tell you which one it was, but it was
Okay.
a really popular one that's on a lot of college campuses. But it was just
I think he has ideas.
Chick-fil-A?
ooh, ding ding ding.
Ooh.
Yeah. So I built a Chick-fil-A at my last campus.
Where's
And-
Point Parks?
Is it coming? Is that something in the works?
Hey, wait, wasn't your last guest Dean Palo?
It was.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. So I've had all these really cool opportunities and experiences, and I'm going to rewind for a minute. When I was ready to leave that institution where I was for 17 years, Point Park had a position open, a VP role that I was really interested in, and I got a campus interview. Okay, so I was a finalist for the position. It was like 11, 12 years ago. And I didn't get it. I was probably the least experienced person, young at the time. And I had such a great experience, though. I thought, when do you ever leave a job interview that you didn't get and think, this is somewhere where I really want to work? This is right. I so enjoy the people that I met. I enjoyed the campus. I thought I can still see myself here someday. I didn't get the position this time. So fast forward to 2023, 10 years later, and that same job is open. And I'm like, maybe that's fate. Maybe that's fate. I call up my good friend, Keith Palo, once again, tell me a little bit about the role, what's going on with the school. Is this something that that I would be a good fit for? And he says, absolutely. So we go through the interview process, and I'm a finalist again, and the campus interview goes really well, and I meet Chris Brusalis, and I meet several board members, and I felt so good, and I thought, this is something that I really want to do. I really want this job. And a few weeks go by, and I think again, oh no, it's been a little bit too long. I don't think I got this job. And my husband said, wait, they always call you on a Friday. You always get the call on a Friday. It's not Friday yet. Okay. So Friday came, and sure enough, Chris Brusalis calls me, and he says, well, I have good news and bad news. What do you want? What do you want? You go for the bad news.
Go for the bad news.
Always go for the
Always
bad news.
go for the bad news.
Get it out.
Just get it out.
Rip the Band-Aid off. And he said, we're going in a different direction with this other role. It's Marlon Collingwood. He's doing a fantastic job. But we really like that you have all this varied experience in this other area. We'd like you to come in a different role, overseeing our School of Continuing and Professional Studies. And I thought, well, it's not what I was expecting, but that sounds really kind of cool. And once again, sort of like this weird moment in my career where it's like, ooh, wasn't expecting that, but that sounds like something I really love to do. It sort of marries both of my enrollment and my academic affairs experience. And I think I'd be pretty good at that. So I said, okay. And I joined Point Park in May 2023 as the Dean of the School of Continuing and Professional Studies and overseeing the online programs. So that was going really well for about 3 months. And then the provost at the time said, hey, our founding dean of our School of Education wants to step back. Would you step in as the interim dean in the School of Education? What do I say?
Sure,
Obviously.
why not?
Sure, obviously. I sit on the school board at Peters Township where I live, and I think to myself, okay, this is going to be an interim gig. And then we started doing lots of innovative things. We brought in new programs. It was exciting, and I still think though I'm only interim because remember I'm still dean of the other.
That's right.
School.
This is now 2 deans at one time. You're juggling both.
Double dean duties.
Double dean. That's right. And so, I think, there's going to be a search for a permanent dean, but I'm going to do the best that I can. I'm going to learn as much about the school and moving us forward so that when a person comes in,
Yes.
right, it'll be in good shape. Mm-hmm. And it must have been going pretty well because midway through that year, the provost at the time says to me, hey, would you consider being the permanent dean? Faculty seem to like you. The things seem to be going well. Enrollment's going well in the school. And I said, well, you mean like both at the same time, full time? He said, yeah.
Why not?
Okay, yeah.
So I thought about it for a while, and I said, well, of course we need to make some structural changes. We need to make some changes in professional studies, have Annie Sheen, she's the director of the online programs, take on more responsibility, and some folks got some promotions over there. And so that's what I did for about a year and a half, at both roles. So the Dean of the School of Continuing and Professional Studies and the Dean of School of Education. And then, in January of this year, of course, the provost position came open, and I was thrilled to be tapped for that. So,
And now you're provost.
And now you're
I'm
provost.
provost.
Now you're here.
You're at the hierarchy. You made it to the top.
Oh my!
You made it to the top. How does it feel though? How does it feel from all them steps, from being dean of 2 schools at once to now being the provost and now basically overseeing this role?
Well, I mean, I look at it this way: you're only as good as your team, right? A leader is only as good as the team that's working with them. And I have a fantastic team. We have wonderful faculty here who care about our students. You all know, you work with them.
Yes.
They care about our students. They care about our students' success. And the reason that I saw, in 2013, that first time that I interviewed here, like I feel it at a different level now. It's everything that I thought and that I hoped the institution would be. I love Point Park University.
And you're here to stay.
I'm here.
You're not leaving the provost role.
I'm not leaving the provost role.
You're here to stay.
I'm here to stay.
How have the changes since you've started here to where we are now has really shaped this future of Point Park, the current Point Park, and where do you see Point Park going within the next 5, 10, and beyond years?
Yeah, we have some exciting momentum. And some of that is just naturally coming back from the pandemic, right? Students engaging, faculty
Yes.
engaging, creating more community on campus, right? Coming back together as a community has been really important. It's reparative after COVID. And so just seeing what you guys are doing here and all of the experiences that our students get. Like, I am constantly amazed. We put out that leadership report every month, and I get feedback from folks at what our students are doing, what our faculty are doing. And, we're not that university sitting on a hill above. We're in the community and we're doing things. Our students are doing things. Our faculty are doing things. And I think that's why we've had some really good momentum. And I just see more of that in our future.
Yeah, so much involvement is here too, from all over the place too. But I can only imagine the provost rule. Like, it sounds so great, but there's probably some days where it is a bit of a pain at times. What are some of the struggles you deal with being the provost?
Scheduling for sure.
Scheduling?
Right? I want to be at everything. I want to come to all of the events, especially at the end of the year when there are so many banquets and activities and performances. I wish I could be at them all, but we don't have Star Trek yet where I can sort of teleport in to each
Snap your
one
finger
of
and you're
the-
there.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So that's a challenge sometimes, the schedule.
The schedule can be.
Yeah, I know it sounds surprising, right? 2 dean's roles to a provost, but it's just on another level. Kind of the invitations that you get, and I wish I could say yes to them all.
How do you shape your day? What's a day in a life like of Shari Payne?
Oh my goodness. So every day is different, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes you never know what the day is going to unfold, whether it's the weather
Yes.
or something happening in the city, or the federal government does something crazy. I mean,
Right.
that's happened too. So it's just a evolving schedule. Sometimes when I put planning time on my calendar, that's the funniest thing at all, right? When they say like when you make a plan, God laughs, right? It's that when I put scheduling time on, and I think I'm going to have a moment. That's usually when a decree comes from the state or the federal government that we have to kind of stop and pay attention to. But
What, you said you had some?
Yeah, I was going to say, I know every day is different, but how would you say as you're shaping up, because we're already kind of flipping the book into 2026.
yeah.
How's 2025 closing? What do you hope that Point Park can achieve in 2026?
Yeah, I'm so proud of all of the programs and what they've achieved. We've some new things coming on the books this year, right? Just came through the curriculum committee, passed an AI in education endorsement.
Well, that makes him excited over there.
What?
Yeah. And so we're doing a lot of faculty training in that area. So you'll see more of that in the coming year. You'll see the enrollment increase has certainly made a difference, especially with this big incoming class.
Yes.
Right?
Oh, very big class.
Yeah, you saw the folks in the hotel, and you saw some exciting news about the draft coming up.
Yes.
Spring.
Coming up.
I
Yep.
mean, it's just hard to imagine all of the things that are happening. And so while I have an eye towards 26, I'm really trying to finish out this year. There's the hooding ceremony that happens in December, and then my goodness, the spring term is just chock full of events and celebrations and the like.
I think it's a good way to talk about the calendar, because this is a good debate about how Point Park has tried to align their schedule with other colleges.
Yeah.
Can you talk about the process of that, how that all panned out?
Yeah.
It got passed, it's successful. Was it in the favor of students? Is that what actually students wanted?
Yeah, we think so.
Okay.
What we were hearing, Nick, is that we were coming back sooner than any other school, right? Even sometimes the University of Pittsburgh. So this year, we were the very first school that came back.
Yes.
And that first day that we canceled, no other schools in Pittsburgh were in session. And It's problematic for a couple of reasons. The first is that when you leave as a student in mid-December and then you don't get your grades until sometimes about a week later, and you're at Christmas, and then all of a sudden you're at New Year's, and then you're coming back. There's really not a lot of time for you to make preparations. If you need to make changes in your schedule, if you need to come on campus and do a few things, there's just no time.
No, there's no time.
You're like right off the holiday and boom into the semester. And so not just from our students, but from our faculty, we felt like it's just, we do close down as an institution. And so like the day that we come back, students are coming back. And that doesn't give us a lot of time to do anything meaningful between the fall and the spring semester. And so it feels like that first week of school, you're just sort of catching up, like catching your breath in that first week. So pushing it back a couple of weeks allows us to have staff back, do some preparatory work so that we're ready to go when it's day one. But, and I know, Austin, you're a transfer student, so I can, right? So transfer students in particular coming in would have a difficult time when we start. Like they're just getting their grades in December, and there's not a whole lot of time to finish out the paperwork, schedule in the right classes, have a proper orientation period, and just get ready for the spring term to start. So we think that this extra time will be a boon really for transfer students.
No, you took the words right out of my mouth, because I'm blessed I came in right around the right time. Like I came in from the summer into the fall. So I at least had like the summer months to prepare and pay off tuition and make sure I had a game plan, come and get a tour of the place. But you can only imagine the students who are just coming off a Christmas break and the New Year's. They have less than a week then before that happened to even figure it out?
Yeah, absolutely. And sometimes, when you're at another institution and maybe you're not transitioning well, and maybe you missed home, maybe the academic year didn't go the way that you wanted, you come home and you're at Christmas and you're just getting your grades. And that's the time when you're talking with your family, perhaps about making a change. And there's no time for you to meet with the financial aid office because they're not there, right? No one's open over the holiday. Not just us, right? Like if you need to get a transcript from your previous school, there's no time to do that. Right? Like, but that's the time that you're home with your family and probably talking to them about the decisions that you're going to make. So, I definitely think that this will be very helpful for transfer students.
Now, I think I heard from a little birdie before we started.
Oh boy.
That someone in this room also had a professional wrestling fandom at one point, or maybe liked wrestling. Is that true, Shari?
That is true, Austin. So when I was growing up, I think this must be about between 1985 and 88, and you'll have to correct me on my dates, but the first WrestleMania, my brother, I have an older brother, he's a year older than me, and he was a huge WWF back in the day, right? WWF wrestling fan. And so the first WrestleMania came out, and it was Hulk Hogan and Andre the Giant and Ric Flair and the local guy, Bruno Sammartino. You can't forget Bruno Sammartino, right? And so I can't remember which fast food restaurant it was, McDonald's or one of those. Okay, but they had these glasses. And back in the day, you could get a real glass, not a cup or a glass. And it had all the wrestling characters, Hulk Hogan and Andre the Giant. And we literally would go to McDonald's, or I think it was McDonald's, just to get, so that we would have the entire WrestleMania.
That's so cool, yeah.
But that's my extent, Austin.
That's your extent of being.
That's my extent, is the original WrestleMania with Hulk Hogan and Andre the Giant.
And in all honesty, that's probably one of the better ones too. Was the original? Nothing beats the original.
I feel like, did Andre the Giant win? I can't even remember. No.
Nope. Hulk Hogan power slammed him and leg drop 1, 2, 3. That's it.
Wow.
Ball game.
Was it about 85 to 88?
It was around that era. Yeah. I don't remember the exact year. I want to say it was 86, but I could be wrong.
I feel like I was 12 or 13, so that's about right.
Okay.
I can picture it in my mind because we, like I said, we had the souvenir glasses.
Yeah.
and we made it a point to get the entire set.
Well, I'm assuming you probably heard my story with the whole professional wrestling thing, how I'm a commentator at 2 different companies now.
I know.
Got to walk out on stage on AEW and done a couple thousand people. That was insane. I still can't believe that happened.
I mean, listen, Austin, you were going to walk out of your degree in the university with professional credits that are that would be the envy of folks who have been in the profession years
you.
and years and years. It's so impressive.
I appreciate that.
Huge fan of both of yours.
Thank you.
Huge fan.
You don't think anybody's going to throw tomatoes at him when he walks on stage? I have to poke the fun. I have to
this
do
guy.
it.
I don't know.
They might. I mean, if you come out in the Cowboys jersey, they're definitely throwing tomatoes at you.
No, they see this face. They all want to come, towards me and get the autograph. I think this is a good time to turn to sports.
Okay.
The NFL draft is coming to Pittsburgh.
It is, yes.
Point Park is in downtown. It is the only college that is in downtown that is going to be accessible to the draft, that is going to be prime time to the draft. Can you talk about some preparations that are going on behind the scenes, that are going on locally right now as we start to prepare? How Point Park is going to stand out from these other colleges that can take advantage of this draft?
Yeah, I mean, our location definitely gives us a leg up on some of the other institutions. I mean, you're going to literally be able to walk to it. And if you've walked at lunchtime at all, to see all the construction that's happening, especially in Market Square.
Yes.
It's fantastic. But as a university, we've hosted a number of panels, the Pittsburgh Downtown Partnership. I know Rob Skurdich in our public administration program has hosted the public safety folks to talk about security during the draft. So our business programs have hosted different panelists. So the type of programs that we have, not just sports communication as an example, but our sports, arts, entertainment, music business,
yes.
right? Like all across the campus, there are ways for students to get involved because we have sort of this creative nature that permeates through all of our programs and the student body that we have. So it's exciting.
It's pretty exciting, too, because the Steelers will be a hometown team in
Yes.
this as well. We'll get to see them make their first-round pick in Pittsburgh. It's going to be pretty cool.
Yeah, so I grew up watching the Steelers with my dad. We would watch the Steelers every Sunday. I can remember even when I was a little girl, I think it was Jack Ham came to my hometown, and there was a line, one of those 2-hour lines that you stand in, that we waited just to get an autograph.
We all have been in those kind of lines before.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely.
So does it just love for Steelers then, or do you have like other sports that you're into? Is it just mainly football?
Mainly football.
Mainly football,
Pittsburgh
okay.
girl at heart. I used to be a Pirates fan.
It's hard to be.
It's hard to be.
They do break your heart a little bit, and I do love the experience of going to the game. Would love to see a little bit more of a winning streak, and I'm happy that we have a Point Park alum now on the
Don Kelly.
Yeah, Don. And I hope for the future that the team will get better, but
You can only pray.
Yeah.
You can only pray.
Exactly.
I love that the events that all the major sports teams do that recognizes Point Park and all the different colleges around it. Specifically, I think in January there's a hockey night in Pittsburgh. It's a Point Park night.
Mm-hmm.
Pittsburgh, you saw me in a shirt that said Point Park University. You really wanted one of them. We had a Point Park night, and I'm pretty sure, I don't know if the Steelers, I don't ever hear a Steelers night do a Point Park University day. Do you know anything about that? Why Steelers, about any information on that?
I mean, I can only guess, right? The tickets are sold out for years and years and years, and even to get season passes, you have to get on a waiting list. And my guess is they just don't have, that they're already at capacity, that they don't have room. Some of those other programs, they haven't hit their capacity, and so probably have availability to do those things.
Austin looks like he.
That's my guess.
Austin looks like
I
he
have a
wants to jump
theory
in.
too. I think it's because Acrisure Stadium they share with Pitt football, so I feel like more of the University of Pitt gets the benefits over some of the other colleges. That's just this is an idea.
That's right.
Just because they kind of share spaces, so you never know.
That could.
Oh, that's
That's an interesting theory.
Yeah.
Do you actually think, though, getting the students out together and showing up at these events really goes to show how far Point Park University is on a level and how well the support is together? Because I feel like a lot of times there's a lot of discretion and there's a lot of, are Point Park people really united? But if you go out to these games, we rock the field. I mean, you can just rock it out there, especially Steelers night. They even made an announcement saying, Point Park University is here. I think it was Greg Brown that I think even said it on the television.
Shout out to Greg.
Yeah. I saw this. The student section was enormous, and I love it.
Are we going to try and do that every year for all the events? Is there going to be a dedicated section too for when the NFL draft is here, a specific Point Park section?
So I can't speak specifically to the draft, but I am 100% sure that we're going to be doing something.
Okay. What's that week going to look like for students? Because I know there's a lot of questions as we're trying to prepare. Security is probably going to be top notch. What is Point Park's vision for that week, for the draft leading up to it, and then, always the week after, given the enormous amount of people downtown? I think there's a security risk, trying to use facilities. There's a lot of at play here that there's a lot of questions, and I know it's very early to answer this, but you got to throw it that way because people are just trying to get an idea of what downtown and what Point Park University is going to look like in that week.
Yeah, I think what we'll be working towards is trying to make sure that our students get every opportunity to participate, whether that be covering the event or working as an intern or an assistant for some of these companies. But I have to tell you, what you all are doing here is just as important, right? You're making your own space. You're not waiting for someone to invite you. You're making your space. And I think that you're role models for other students.
Oh,
thank you.
Right? Like, this is a different economy. It's a different environment. And there will be spots and invitations, but don't wait. Like, look what you guys are doing. You're building your own brand. You're building something.
I feel like Nick Brown's probably heard that 100 times. The amount of times I've said, you got to build your brand, Nick. You got to build your brand.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I hammer it in everyone's head.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's all about that too, because my philosophy is like, I'm obviously going to take every opportunity. Like you mentioned earlier, that's why I was smiling when you said, yeah, I never say no. I always say yes. Take every opportunity that comes your way. I'm the exact same way. Anything that comes my way, whether it's something maybe minuscule at the time, could lead to something bigger on eventually. And like my full-time job, you might not know this, I'm actually a manager at a doggy daycare. That's my full-time job that I get paid for, which has no connection whatsoever with sports or media or podcasting or anything like that. But my full-time job outside of school is I'm actually a manager at a doggy daycare. So like I'm the head trainer there. We train all the new people. 40 pounds and under.
Dog sitter? Are you available for dog sitting?
Give me a price. I mean, maybe I'll take the dog on the road with me. Who knows? But I don't really dog sit as much. We actually have like our own little facility. We bring in daycare dogs, boarding dogs, and it just goes to show like something as weird and out there as that can tie perfectly into building your own brand and learning how to promote yourself, market yourself.
Yeah,
crazy.
No doubt. I'm gonna remember that.
Well, our place is only 40 pounds and under, so if the dog's a little bigger than 40 pounds, we have a sister location. So, what kind of dog?
He is a teddy bear, a Shih Tzu, and
how adorable.
A Shih Tzu, poodle, and Bichon Frise. So he's like 50% Shih Tzu, 20% poodle, and 20% Bichon Frise, and he's the cutest little, most entertaining thing. And I have to tell you guys, I was okay, I'm gonna admit this, I was anti-dog. Like, I was determined that I would never ever have a dog because I had an incident growing up where I was chased by a dog, right? And I was always afraid of dogs, and I'd be that person that if I came to your house and you had a dog, I would freeze up. And then I'm not sure what happened over the pandemic, but like one day, this was just like one day out of the blue, I had a dream, and I woke up and I said to my husband, let's get a dog over COVID. And of course he wanted one for a long time. And so that was it. We decided that we wanted a little dog. And so our little guy, his name's Teddy.
Teddy.
He's 5 years old.
Same with my dog, 5 years.
Yeah.
COVID dog?
COVID dog. Yep. Yes. And he is just the joy of our life. I'm so glad. Like my whole outlook has changed, and now I'm all things dog. I can't get enough. I watch memes on Facebook about dogs, and I buy cute little outfits, and I'm everything that I never thought I would be.
Dogs are the sweetest things. Like even when they bite you and stuff in my work, I just kind of like push off the side. I actually got a little bite right here yesterday. Oh, no. On my hand right there.
Well, because they know he's a Cardinals fan, that's why.
Okay, knock it off. But if they saw you're a Cowboys fan, they'd rip you to shreds. But that's a different story.
No.
But yeah, no, I love dogs too. I'm 100% dog person. Cats, I'm kind of the opposite. I used to hate cats. I'm not gonna lie. I was scared of them. I thought they were mean. My mom never liked them. My dad's allergic, so I'm like, okay, I gotta stay away from them. But once I started working there, because we also take cats and hamsters and birds and guinea pigs, we take pretty much everything.
Wow.
We don't really get those as much though. We get mostly dogs and cats, but
you
get a couple stragglers here and there. But I started to grow on cats too. I'd say I'm an animal lover. My backup career before I got into sports and broadcasting was actually being a vet. So a lot of people don't know that.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah, that was the backup career if this didn't work out. So
Well, this is working out pretty well for you.
I would say this is working out. I don't,
Yes.
I don't think I'm going to have to be a vet at all. But I mean, I've actually been offered positions to do you know what a dog warden is?
I don't.
Okay, so a dog warden is essentially like, I don't even know what's called in the restaurant business. Like when someone comes and does the inspections every single month and they make sure
Oh, okay.
you're allowed to still be open, you're running the restaurant properly. It's pretty much what a
Okay.
dog warden does, but for doggy daycares and facilities and pounds and shelters.
Oh, wow. I had no idea.
Me neither.
Yeah, the dog warden in Pittsburgh is actually stepping down and offering me the position. He said, "Hey, you really well spoken. I feel like you can do this." I'm like, "Buddy, I'm in college for a completely different thing." I was like, if this fails and I somehow get dropped out, I somehow drop out of Point Park, which is not going to happen because I'm less than a year away from my bachelor's, I'll take you up on that offer. So
That's awesome.
but I thought that was crazy because we were talking about the whole dogs thing. I was like, yeah, I almost was a dog warden last week.
Wow. Amazing. I mean, I thought, coming out of school when I was the journalist, I thought I was going to move to New York and be a magazine editor. I thought I was going to go into magazine work and just, life just has a funny way of throwing you opportunities.
It
And
really
if you're
does.
open to them. It can lead you in so many different directions that you never thought possible. Just be open to it.
I want to ask you one last question. This is a question I ask everybody, and you've listened to the podcast before, so you probably have an idea of what I'm about to ask. What's the go-to restaurant? Favorite place to grab a meal? It could be in Pittsburgh. It could be back at home. It just could be fast food. Anything. What's the favorite place to
That's
grab
a
some
good
I
food?
mean, listen, I like I like food. Obviously, I like food. We like a little restaurant called Arlecchino out
Okay.
down in the South Hills, and they have a sister restaurant called Alla Familia, which is in Pittsburgh, but this is a special occasion restaurant. This is not like an everyday go-to for
What kind
lunch.
of food?
It's Italian food.
Italian food?
Oh,
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
right up our alley.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
fits Italians.
Fits this podcast.
It's like
Yep.
it's like when you guys graduate from Point Park University. This is where you go to celebrate your graduation. It is the best meal that you will ever eat. Hands down.
Is there a go-to menu item that you have on there, or just go-to food in general?
Yeah. So I actually eat a veal dish, and I am not normally a person who orders veal at a restaurant. This is the only place where I will order.
I'm not a veal person either, so this actually sounds intriguing.
Yes, it is phenomenal. It is so good. It's so good, so good. But there's one restaurant around here that if you like Italian food and you haven't tried Papa J's, you really should get out there. Papa
Yes.
J's in the Strip. Have you been?
Nope.
Okay. Highly
Used
recommend.
to be one in Carnegie.
Yes, it's the
Yep.
same. It's the same place, and they used to have a different one downtown, and that one burnt down.
The one in Carnegie burned
the
down.
one,
Yeah.
one in Carnegie burnt down.
Just go there all the time. Yep.
yeah,
I'm,
yeah.
I'm from Carnegie, so
Okay.
it's right
Yeah.
down the road from my
Oh,
house.
So you know.
I was there the day after. I was like, dang.
There's
this
a
sucks.
little Indian restaurant too in Carnegie, Cafe Deli, that we really like.
Oh
as
yeah,
well.
that's a
but
pretty good place.
Yeah, but
Yep.
they changed the name, so it's Jalsa now.
Mhm.
But
Yeah, I remember Cafe
but
Deli.
we
back
head
in
out
the-
there every now and again.
Okay, so a couple good restaurants. I'm plain Jane. I'm just burger, fries, call it a day.
Okay.
Throw some cheese on it. So I'm not healthy
All
yet.
right.
When we go
What
to
about
City
you, Nick?
Works, we're at City Works a lot in
Okay.
markets between City Works, Moe's. Between them two, we're always there, and literally we get the same thing every time we go. Burger and fries. I get chicken tenders and fries.
So I've got to ask this though, since we have the hometown connection.
Yes.
What's your favorite AK Valley restaurant?
Ooh,
Villa Blanca.
I knew it.
Yes, Villa Blanca and Lower Borough.
Villa Blanca,
You
yes.
cannot. There is no restaurant better than them.
Yes.
I mean, from the pastas to the pizzas to the soups to you name it, you name the dish.
I'm going to go now.
It is fantastic.
I 100% agree.
Okay.
I'm going to hop on the one and come try it with you guys.
Good. I mean, you can't go wrong. And I mean, they're extremely busy. So sometimes you even have to call ahead and get reservations. Before we go, there is a very special event
I
that
knew
is
he could do
happening
it.
October 29th here at Point Park.
Yep.
Austin is pairing up Two Jagoffs Lives, Point Park University, in partnership with the Day of Giving. Two Jagoffs Live is coming to the Fishbowl from 4 to 7. There's going to be prizes. There's going to be drinks. There's going to be appetizers. There's going to be shenanigans because I'm going to be there. And there's going to be 2 hours worth of guests, phenomenal people, you name it. It is all happening Wednesday, October 29th here at Point Park University. I am so excited. I'm looking forward to this event. I have the finest suit ready to be picked out. I have the finest suit ready.
Okay.
I will be there. Shari, are you coming to this event?
Count me in.
Oh, sweet. I got to ask you, Shari, because you are on a bit of a higher role.
Yes.
How quickly did you find out about this event that was going on? Because I've been working on this for almost a year now, and I finally pitched it like 6 months ago. How much had this been in the works with you guys?
Oh gosh. So Day of Giving is, something that we do annually.
Every year, yep.
Yes.
And I know as soon as they put Day of Giving in the books last year, they start planning on next year. I think probably it surfaced around the time that you started promoting it on your site.
Okay.
Okay.
I love Day of Giving for one specific reason. Every dollar donated to Day of Giving benefits student experiences. And the departments, the schools choose different things to fundraise for. So the School of Comm, I think you're both in the School
Yes.
of Comm,
Yep.
for example, is fundraising, I think, for the New York trip.
We
favorite.
love that trip.
Yeah, right?
We're going. It's already on the calendar.
Yeah, I know. I approved it. So, but the money that raised goes to experiences like these, and I've heard from other folks that these are transformational experiences. So if you're in a position and you're watching the show, I encourage you to do the Day of Giving, because every gift does benefit student experiences directly.
It really does. And I'm excited too, because the whole live podcast is to help hype up Day of Giving and promote it and talk about what it all is. And we're bringing on former alumni. We're bringing on some former 2 Jagoffs guests. We're having some debuting guests. It's going to be really fun. A lot of interesting moments. Let's just say this, Shari. I'm surprised a lot of the stuff they are approving for this. I think it's going to be a lot of fun, but I got the go-ahead. I got the clearance. I've been working closely with Jill and Emily and President Versailles, and they have all been absolutely amazing. This is going to be a really good time.
I'm looking forward to it, guys.
I have a whole cart of tomatoes ready for $1 for anybody who walks through the door that can sling tomatoes at Austin Carnes.
Hey, you're not the only one going to be in a suit. I'm going to have a nice suit too.
Well, all that money that I raised from the tomatoes is going back to students.
See what I deal with, Shari?
See?
But I'm so excited, Shari. I mean, the Fishbowl, perfect location. You can jam pack a lot of people in there.
Yeah.
You better be there early because,
Here.
you're here. I'm going to be here. I can't wait for the event. We've been talking about it so long. We're hyping it up. Can October 29th just get here already? That's how I feel. I just want this event because there's going to be so many guests. I can't wait to network. My LinkedIn is going to go off the tops here. I'm so excited about this event.
Do you have a targeted fundraising goal in mind?
$350,000.
Wow,
That is the
that's
goal this year.
I think he can crush it. I think it's going to be able to be
I
crushed.
think so too.
It's on the shirts and everything. $350,000. That's the
think
hope.
so, too.
And we'll be giving out some of those shirts too. So it's going to be a fun time. Shari, I want to give you the final words of today's podcast. Do you want to leave anything with the audience, with the listeners? What'd you think about today?
Well, first of all, I want to thank you guys for having me on. I was a little bit nervous.
You did great.
And I'm trailblazing your first female guest here.
Yeah, first one on Steel City.
First one on Steel City. And I really am so proud of everything that you're doing. And I think that other students should look to you as role models. You're everything that we hope a Point Park student and graduate will be. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Shari.
Thank you. That means the absolute world. And thank you guys all so much for tuning in to Steel City Commuters. Make sure you leave a like and subscribe. Go check out Shari Payne as well. We'll leave your LinkedIn or whatever.
Yes.
Whatever you want us to leave in. We'll talk about that afterwards. Thank you all so much for tuning in. Until next time, we'll see you in the next one.
Peace.